Hey everybody, welcome to the Tonepriest pedal of the month. I think this is number 11. What we do here every month is we put together a clone of a cool guitar effects pedal. See what makes it tick, we play around with it a little bit, and then at the beginning of the next month we give it away for absolutely free to one of my Patreon supporters. If that sounds interesting to you, go over to patreon.com/tonepriest. Check it out, sign up. This pedal could be yours. And if you're into this kind of thing, you know, maybe worth to go over there and check out. I don't put everything behind the paywall. I put up some cool odds and ends, and that might interest you, so check it out anyway. Alright, what are we doing this month? We are making a clone of the OKKO, is that how you pronounce that? OKKO Holy Gritt fuzz pedal, and as a base we're using the pedal PCBs. What does that say? I can't read it backwards. Sandblaster fuzz PCB. We're going to put a bunch of high quality components into their PCB, and then we're going to make it work, and then we're going to play it, and then well, just stay tuned and you'll see. Alright everybody, let's do it. Alright, so this would actually be my second build of an OKKO pedal. Way back in Season 1, while I was still using Amazon parts, I built this guy here, which is a clone of the OKKO Diablo. I really like this pedal, and then it blew up. I'm not sure if this blew up my power supply or my power supply blew this up, but I think it was the latter because I literally had the least expensive power supply you could buy on Amazon Power in this thing, and now, yeah, it sounds like a diode blew up or something in there. But we might have to go back and build another one of these someday. That was a cool pedal. Anyway, let's see what makes this guy tick. Hang tight. Okay, here is the schematic for the OKKO Holy Gritt, provided by Pedal PCB. And what this essentially is a NPN silicon fuzz face with an input and output buffer. Hopefully you can see my cursor here. And it actually has a switchable buffer switch on the Holy Gritt. So if you want it to be like a traditional fuzz pedal where, you know, if you put pedals in front of it, it gets all cattywampus because of the input impedance. But the flip side being it has a nice reaction with your guitar pickups and the volume knob of your guitar. So if you want to keep that vintage feel of a vintage fuzz pedal, you can bypass this input buffer. But if you want to stick, not have to worry about, you know, what pedals come before or after this, you put the input buffer on, and that's what this is right here, this whole section right here. And then we also have a matching output buffer over here. And then, so that leaves all the stuff in the middle here is the heart of the circuit. And if we look at this and we compare it to this guy over here, it's very, very similar to an NPN fuzz face. Now, the original fuzz face, I believe, was a PNP, and that's where you had to have positive ground and you would need a separate power supply or run on battery only, because if you hooked up your power supply to it, it would blow it up. But because we are using NPN transistors, that is not an issue. It's a negative ground circuit. But again, if we match the fuzz face to the Holy Gritt, it's basically an upgraded version. Well, upgraded is subjective, but it's a continuation or a modified version of your standard fuzz face circuit. What else do we have here? We have these three things right here. There's trimmer switches on the PCB with a three-way switch, and you set these trimmer switches to set the amount of voltage that's going to this transistor here, the collector of this transistor, and that affects the bias. So you can set it to have, you know, act more like a boost pedal, just give it a little tiny bit of grit. A middle position, or you can set it so that, you know, this is full on, you know, blowing your face off fuzz, or anywhere in between. Now we're going to set it to the values, the voltages that they suggest. But again, these are on trimmers. Somebody can go in there and play around and, you know, experiment and have fun with that. But other than that, it's very simple. It's fuzz face. Yeah. Let's build it. Okay, this should go without saying, but I'll say it anyway. The background montage music is by me, and it is using this very pedal we're building. So that will be a pretty good sound demo, I think. Let's do it. Let's put this sucker together. Bam! How fun was that? All the guitar parts, oh Jesus, every time. All the guitar parts were used playing this. I wanted to play the bass parts using this, but yeah, this just isn't the pedal for bass. Wasn't having it. But there she is, Father Fuzz. our clone of an OKKO Holy Gritt. Father Fuzz, yeah, probably not my best work as far as naming pedals and coming up with a theme. You know, with the whole tonepriest thing here, we try to have like a religious theme. And OKKO kind of beat us to the punch with their Holy Gritt. And I thought about calling it the Holy Shit, but that's too much even for me. But there she is. We have level, we have fuzz, treble and bass. We have our bias switch and our bypass switch. Got our nice gunmetal chrome soft click bypass switch, the whole 9 yards, tonepriest quality. This is the shit right here. Hey, let's look on the inside. Hang tight. Hey, check out this sexy enclosure we used. See that? Pretty cool, right? Boom! There she is. Let me get Mr. Pointer. Where is Mr. Pointer? We haven't seen him in several episodes. Here are our trimmers for the bias. The selectable bias on the transistors. What do we have here? Oh, wow. We have Chemicon and we have Rubicon electrolytic capacitors. Some of the highest quality capacitors that money can buy. And we have these two transistors here, which are the heart of the circuit, the fuzz face circuit. These other two down here are for the input and output buffer, but check those suckers out. How cool is that, right? This one came out awesome. Nice. Father Fuzz. There he is. Can you see him? There he is. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, I'd like to thank the talents of Perry Farrell and Stephen Perkins. And like your typical Jane's Addiction show, Dave Navarro and Eric Avery were not present. So we played the guitar and the bass on that, and I think it came out pretty good. Showed off this pedal pretty well. Let's play with it a little bit more. Hang tight. All right, fellas, we'll twist the knobs a little bit here. Here's the setup. Using the tonepriest Prince of Darkness amp. You can think of this somewhere between a Princeton and a Deluxe. It's got a little added mojo with this pentode in V1. But you'll hear it clean. It just sounds like a old clean Fender amp. Just running the guitar into the Father Fuzz pedal, straight into this. And we have this setup here, Univox. Yeah, it's kind of dark. Anyway, Univox, vintage Univox cabinet, 2x12. With a modern greenback and a V-type Shure 57 and a clone 57. Going straight into Reaper. Oh yeah. Oh, this film is amazing. Come on, get in focus. Anyway, let's do it. Ooh, that's in focus. That looks nice, right? Sweet. Alrighty, here is the Father Fuzz. We have all the knobs set at 12 o'clock. We have level, we have fuzz, we have treble and bass, we have two switches. This switch here is for the buffer. This is so a lot of like vintage fuzz pedals, you have to put them like first in your effects chain or things get all cattywampus. But with this buffer switch in the buffer position, you don't need to worry about that. You can stick a wah pedal, a compressor, you can stick anything in front of this and not have to worry about it. Then we have the bias. And we'll play with that a little bit, but that's basically how much fuzz she makes. And other than that, she's pretty simple. All right, let me strap on a guitar and play a few notes. All right, can you see me? Can you hear me? This is a clean tone. As you can see, I'm using a capo. I was playing around with this pedal and I was like, oh my god, this is Keith Richards in a box right here. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Alright, turn the sucker down all the way. Still a little fuzzy. We'll put the fuzz switch, it's in the middle right now, which is the most amount of fuzz. We'll flip it up. it's a little bit of hair and a little bit of compression. But sounds pretty much the same with the fuzz knob all the way down. And I'm going to burn myself on these tubes, I tell you what. Let's go to noon. The bias switch on the up position. Flip it down. Stick it in the middle. Not a whole lot of difference between down and in the middle. We can adjust the volume knob. As you can see, it cleans up very nicely. Alright, don't laugh at me. I am not really a guitar player, though I play one on TV. And I just learned this, but we're going to do our best. Here we go. More of this.
It hits me out of that equation.
So there you go. It does Jane's Addiction. It does the frickin' Rolling Stones. This can be yours. Go over to my Patreon. Let me check the calendar. On... Wait for it. Let's stop this guy from recording. Stop. On August 2nd. Nope, 3rd. August 3rd. Saturday, August 3rd. Over on my Patreon, I'm going to give this pedal away for absolutely free to one of my Patreon supporters. So if you're interested in this pedal here and sounding like Keith Richards, shoot on over there, sign up. You can win. Alright everybody, I want to thank Keith Richards. I want to thank Dave Navarro. I want to thank my subscribers, my thumbs uppers, commenters, and Keith Richards' mom. Without which we wouldn't have, what is it, like 60 years of awesome rock and roll music? And that's all she wrote. Alright everybody, rock on and prosper.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Done.